So Hufriya Bhiwandiwalla is a professional and a mother to a 4-year-old angel. She has been associated with the media and travel industry since 2003. She's currently flying for an airline. She started event management in 2003 with a reputed company, and she joined modeling later that year. She was also a finalist at Miss India 2005, and in 2005 she was invited by a reputed airline to join them to be the new face of the airline. Currently, Hufriya is enjoying her professional life and motherhood.
Very important for today's day and age. In today's day and age, for parents to teach their children how to create their own safe space. Because I forget, I would say, school and colleges, you don't know when, who really, in this pandemic, we've really seen a lot of unexpected deaths. A lot of, I have heard a couple of children just being orphaned in a span of a month, which is a complete shocker to us. Forget about them. I can't even imagine the pain, and in this the child is vulnerable. So how to make a safe financially everything, see your family is there or your friends are there or somebody or the other will help you, but how to protect yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, I think is most important. A person can go and earn money, even a child, I, like I would say not a child, but even like a youngster can go and earn money. It's not as difficult as it is to being emotionally strong and emotionally safe. I would say emotionally safe also because there should not be anybody who can harm you emotionally, and there shouldn't be like you should be emotionally strong in such a way not to make anybody else make you feel the way they want you to feel, right? So I would say yes, I am in an emotionally, I am in a safe space right now because of the decisions that I've taken and the boundaries that I've set in my life. A lot of people may find it stupid, but I agree to it and I stick by it. My understanding of equality is like a lot of people, like I've come a lot of, I've come across a lot of men who would say, oh, you can't do this, and you talk about equality. Yes, I talk about equality, and there are certain physical limitations that a woman has. There are certain physical limitations that a man has, or certain emotional limitations that a man has, and certain emotional limitations that a woman has. So it's not when I talk about equality, it's not about strength and about me macho enough and lifting 100 kgs and a woman being weak, not being able to lift those same 100 kgs. I'm not talking about equality in those terms. Equality, what I mean is equality here, mentally and emotionally. Because I won't like to say that, oh, we women are stronger than men or anything like that. I completely believe in equality. I would never say, oh, women are emotionally strong and men are emotionally weak. I do not want to get into that because I do not believe in that. Because every individual is different. But I feel when you give equality to the gender, then I think a lot of crime and a lot of bullying, I feel even bullying would stop. And like, because a lot of men, I feel, have been raised with the wrong idea that, oh, men can't cry, men should not cry. Why? Oh, you're a man, you're a boy, you are so strong, you should be able to lift this. No, if he doesn't feel like, or if he is not physically strong enough, he will not be able to do it, which is okay. So I think equality comes from there. Equality doesn't mean like, no, oh, you have to be equal and competitive all the time, and you should be able to compete and do everything like a boy does. The same thing a girl should be able to do it. We do have to keep in mind the physical limitations and the emotional limitations each individual has. So I think equality to me is very important, and equality to me is this. It's not about the strength and the courage that a person has, because this is all individual. And a place and an organization and a school should have, I would say, gender equality, which is extremely important, right from the top management to the tiniest of the tiniest students or the children in the tiny tots, because it is what you see is what you absorb. You can talk about gender equality and not give gender equality, like a lot of families would say, "Oh, we believe in gender equality, we believe in gender equality," but the woman of the family is suffering. The man is constantly bullying the woman. The man is constantly belittling the woman. Even that I feel is not gender equality, because the child grows up to say, "Oh, my mother went through this." And this, if that's a girl, the girl will think, "Oh, I'm supposed to talk about gender equality and everything is equal." But I've seen my mother go through a lot of bullying from my father, when which is okay. All women have to go through it. Like I've heard a lot of times, a lot of people say, "Oh, but you're a woman." Like, "Oh, you're a girl. This is what we girls face. This is what we girls have to go through," which I think that is wrong. That is wrong in the society. That the society, and a lot of times I would say even the parents should stop saying that, like, "Oh, you're a man, you can do this," or "You're a boy, you can do this, but if you were a woman, you can't do this," or "If your sister cannot do this." So this, according to me, is gender equality, and I think gender equality is important everywhere in our lives. I'm sorry, if I've got your question right. How many, like, you want me to get you the statistics? I really am not aware,
Okay. Okay.
because of the society that we stay in. Nobody talks about it openly. Nobody wants to share this openly. I think it should be put out on billboards and spoken about, and talked about it on all social media channels, all radio channels, all TV channels. Then this will stop, because it's only till now, till date, I would say it's only hushed about, and it's only every time the there's one thing, weird thing that I have observed in the media is that whoever the victim is would be like I'm right now. I'm not talking about only children, but I would say it generally happens. You see, oh, like, a falana gaon mein, or falana society or school mein, an 8-year-old girl or an 8-year-old boy was sexually abused by somebody who's masked. So the identity of the victim is given out. I'm not saying don't give out or anything. I'm not telling, but the identity of the person who's like convicted. Okay, I understand you protect the rights of the person unless and until he or she is not convicted, or he or she is not proved to have been the sexual offender or whatever. But after that, what happens after that? After that, also nobody knows their faces, but probably the child's name or the face or whatever is gone, which is, I feel, which is really unfair. Like, after you have convicted that person, or after it's proved that this person has done is a sexual offender to a child especially, and I think it's the worst crime that anybody can do. I think then that person's face and everything should be shamed or whatever. Like, I'm not talking about like only shaming is the only punishment, but I think our even that, like, could be a kind of a mini step to, like, stop people from doing these things, because a lot of people think, "Yeah, हाँ बस इतना तो हाथ लगा दिया, क्या हुआ?" A lot of bus conductors do that to small children. A lot of times drivers do that, or a lot of times the person who's in charge of taking care of the child. We've heard that in so many instances on the TV and the news, that so many times the caretakers are aware of what is happening to the child, or the who gets dropped last or who gets picked up first, and just keeps mum about things. because of the threat. I would say in a place when there is no confidence, and when, as I said, when you have extremely strict caregivers, when the caregiver, be it a grandparent or a babysitter or a parent, is extremely strict and the child doesn't have the freedom to express himself or herself, that is where the most sexual abuses happen, because these predators are watching. These predators are watching. They are seeing that this child has no way of being vocal, or this child has no way of being, having a like chance to talk for himself or herself. तो उसको कुछ भी कर देंगे तो वो चुप रहेगा, उसको डरा के धमका के रखेंगे तो और भी चुप रहेगा. This is what is happening. But it's very difficult for one to say that, oh, it only happens in schools or colleges or in rich houses or poor houses or this strata of society or this society, that society. I think it's the mentality of the people. When the child doesn't have the freedom to be vocal, this is where it's like, like the red zone is the high alert area. Like you have to let the child be vocal. Let the child talk any nonsense or be like any rubbish, but you have to give all ears to your child. And you be a caregiver, you be a grandparent, you be a parent. But one such person has to be there in a child's life that the child can go and talk to about anything and everything in life. So I think when these people are missing in a child's life, this is where, a child is prone to any abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, any abuse. I know there is this one number, particular number that you have to dial. This is only for crime against, so it's any crime against women and children. But I don't know of the particular laws and the like how the law protects children and what the law is for sexual offenders for children, because it's not put up to me in my face. And as you know, like we all have busy lifestyles, we don't really look into something till you actually put it out in the face. You actually put it out on billboards, you put it out on the radio channel, talk about it, talk about it like a zillion times. Then, like, even a person, if he or she doesn't know, he will go and, like, even if nothing's happening around him or her, or then nothing is visible, but still just to be aware, the person may just go and click and see what is what.
Touching the breast of a child while she is wearing clothes, would that be considered as child sexual abuse?
Absolutely.
Showing nude pictures to a child?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I said. It's not only touch. It's not only touch because of the social, I mean, not social, but I would say because of this mobile phones and the tablets and even the smart watches have pictures in them, right? So someone very slyly can show you some, or make a child something. Yes, that absolutely is a big meaning, and that also is a sexual abuse.
What about lewd jokes?
Absolutely. Yes, if you don't know the person as an adult also, I would say if you don't know the person, you should not crack those rude jokes. And as a child, it's definitely a strict no.
Right.
Definitely do not do that in front of a child, because why, what is the need? First of all, a child doesn't understand. There is no need for you to crack such a joke. Children are very sensitive and they do realize what is happening around them. And if you really suddenly take away the child, or if you start shouting at the offender or whatever, the child does feel that shock. and for the simple reason not to give the child a shock or not to like startle the child and embarrass the child because children everyone goes through a very different we go through we all go through different stages in life. So you don't know first of all if it's not your child, if it's a stranger's child or if it's a fellow child in your society, I would say. You don't know what exactly is happening to that child in that or what is happening in the child's mind or what has that sexual offender it's actually very situational or what has that sexual offender told the child. So many times you see and hear that the child is believed is made to believe the child believes for himself or herself that this is normal. The child grows up. You've seen so many shows where I mean, I've seen so many shows where, like I have seen that the child actually thought that this is what was natural. Like it is okay. So this is how I guess. Of course, I would talk to the child, and I'm not a professional, so of course I will definitely need professional help. But at the moment, if I'm present, if I'm aware of something happening, of course I would pull back the child and separate and without making a big deal about this, for the child's sake, not for the offender's sake. Of course, I wouldn't like spare less to shame that person. Let the child in, especially for children, I would say, let the child be able to think of himself or herself and express himself or herself, be it as ridiculous drawing. Certain sometimes you can pick things up right from children's drawings and paintings as well. So like let the child have the freedom of expression. You all talk about freedom of expression, but when you don't let the child have freedom of expression and then बड़े होके आप बोलोगे कि हाँ नहीं हम तो freedom of expression, but as a child in the own house when you not let the child express himself, or I'm not saying agree, like I'm not saying agree to the child, but I would say like let the child, let the person, I would say even person, like even a youngster, express himself or herself. And hear the child out. It's not okay, fine, we finished talking. Make the child feel that he or she is heard. Because when you make the child feel he or she has not heard you, I mean, you've not heard the child, that is when you lose confidence in the child. Because you don't know how important that small little thing is of the truck breaking or the aircraft breaking or something like that, or toy breaking to that child at that point of life in. Like, at that point of life, like, maybe that's the world for that child. And you will not believe that child, and you take it, like, you as an adult, you how is that toy today? For you, it must be a privileged thing, but for the child, it's the world. When you don't listen to the child and when you don't pay attention to the child, then the child gets that sense of insecurity. I that for my mother or my father is not really listening to me, it's just going on deaf ears. So listen to your child and let the child have the freedom of thoughts. I would say more than speech, thoughts. Let the child think and let the child be expressive. The teenage girl in the video, I feel should do would be like, first ask the child what exactly has happened. I know a lot of people say, why do you want the child to relive the trauma? But in a very comfortable way, ask the child. And after asking the child, take the child's consent and tell the child that I will have to share this with the parents, and subsequently they will take action and they will take action. And in the most logical way, this should happen. Like every household has their own ways and laws. So Rather than just hushing it in the family, I think it should be brought out in the open so that the uncle who has committed this crime will not go to any other child. So I think the next step, the first step I would say, I think we would need to talk to the child and then understand what has happened and in a very playful way so that the child doesn't also feel under pressure and the child also doesn't feel pressurized. Like, the most important thing I think in this such situations is to tackle it very delicately and very gently rather than creating a big hue and cry like, what happened? What did you do? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes, the child is sure. I feel that's a very stupid thing to ask. Because when you do that, like when you tell the child or when you ask the child, are you sure you're going to come? Are you sure, child? Like in the film, I think Chachu, right? So are you sure Chachu did that? Of course, if the child is not sure, why would why would he say that? So then you are trying to put the child also in a dilemma. Oh, no, actually, let me think again. And he's a small child. There's so much, like, you can't put so much pressure on the child. If he's a small child, of course, he will start to think, oh, did my chachu actually mean this? Or then you're trying to put ideas in the child. Did he try to help you assist go to the loo? Did he try to help you assist change your clothes? You're giving these thoughts. Then the child starts thinking, oh, no, maybe he's done something right. No, he's not done something. Because in the back of your mind, you very well know that your child is saying I mean, is complaining about something wrong that has happened. He's being abused. He's being sexually abused, but you're trying to make terms with it yourself first, and then trying to put those things onto your child, which is wrong. It's most important for the parents to accept, okay, fine, that's happened to my child. Because a lot of times people say, like try and think, oh, no, we've been taught to think positive. This doesn't happen in our family. We've gone through that. I can't believe my own brother do that or my own sister do that to my child. No, in these things you have to believe what the child says and you have to scrutinize. Of course, you have to scrutinize what the child says openly, openly in front of everyone and not behind closed doors, because when you do it, when you discuss it behind closed doors, that is when the child feels that uh, something wrong, there's something wrong with me, I am the bad person, or it's me who has done something wrong. No, I think they should be brought out if you live in a joint family or if the parents are alive. They should be done in front of the grandparents and spoken about in front of the chachi and his kids alone, so that everyone, like, let it hit as a shock, let it be in the face. Because once you let it hit as a shock and let it be in the face, that is when it becomes difficult for a person to hide such things. Because
Right.
when it goes from one person to the other person, then, like, it's like Chinese whisper, and then that person analyzes, and then that person will narrate some other story. And I think the ideal situation would be that, let me like tell the entire family in front of the chachu, chachi, dada, dadi, and the parents that this and this has happened. If I come across a situation like this, I would talk about it openly in front of people, irrespective of that person being ashamed or being alarmed or being upset with me. I do not care, because my main priority, as I said, is not only my child. Just I'm not saying that because it's only because I am a mother today or I have a child today. It's not because I've always had these strong thoughts that if a child is being sexually abused in front of me, I will stand up to it. And then do it in front of anyone. If I have to stand up in front of that own child's parent, also, I would question. Because I think If I know as an adult that the child is being sexually abused or is being sexually touched in an inappropriate manner, as an adult, I do have the right to question. I am a Rakshani.
Thank you so much, Hufriya, and I wish you a lovely day ahead.
Thank you. Wish you all and wish you all the best.